Yeah.
Well, I'm not in favour of a benign dictatorship or any form of dictatorship. Actually, we've seen that in a number of countries across the globe, and I don't think I would support that. So, to be absolutely blunt, no. Secondly, I do understand that Stern was wrong. He made the picture far too comfortable, and I do appreciate that. And there were very good reasons why he did that. Is that if he did do, we're doomed, Captain Mannering, let's run around like headless chickens, we would just go, like Jeremy Clarkson, get in the fastest car, drive around and consume more. Because actually, it may be too late. I appreciate that. If you had a ration, you wouldn't be driving around because your ration would run out. Well, it makes no difference from what you've just said. What you've just... You've got a ration. What nonsense are you talking about? Thank you very much. I'm trying to answer your question. Well, you're not doing it very adequately. Well, fine, thank you very much. I do believe that the reason Stern put it in the picture that he put it was because he attempted to build the bridge between what we have to do and where we are now. And where we are now is a very difficult place. There's no getting away from it. There are some people and some cabinets in London, some political persuasions, who do not believe at all that climate change is as a consequence of human endeavours. Now, there are people on the planet that do not agree that that's the situation. And what we're attempting to do, and I absolutely know there's private conversations, there's public conversations. What I'm attempting to do is begin to steer, and it is a very large ship around. And that's the reason why I come from the position that I come from, and I absolutely support the way what you're doing and the work that you're doing. All I'm saying is, at the moment, I go from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which talks about areas of influence and area of concern, and I'm working in my influence areas. And that's why I come and talk to you about LAAs and CAAs, because tomorrow, everyone in this room can go and affect their LAA indicator and the way they respond to their CAA and the response that they get from their council tax. Very few of us have the opportunity, nor would I support it, that we all flew to Copenhagen to talk about great discussions, etc. And nor would I support benign or any form of dictatorship. The issue really is...
One of the things we've got to accept here is that we're all going to have to do as many things we can in our different ways. So I think we absolutely need radical activism. I think, those who can bear the policy treacle or whatever Truan called it will have to wade through there. I mean, in my 8 years on the SDC, the thing I've been absolutely shocked about is just how depressing it is when you've got that much contact with government.
The dead hand.
So I think we're all going to have to do everything we can, and and I'm really happy for us to have quite an angry argument here, and I'm not going to get in the way of it if people disagree with each other. But the long and short of it is, we're all going to have to do our own different bits. So I want to do less about who's doing the right thing, wrong thing, and more about what are all the things that we actually need to start to do to create some of this real step change, because we do need a step change. And like I said at the beginning, I've been doing this for 17 years. Some of you who were speaking before lunch have been doing it for 45 years. It's like, how long do we have to do this stuff for? So where are the breakthroughs coming from? So we've heard something from the panel about that. So should we carry on to get some more views, or do you want to
just very
add more?
I mean, May's obviously right. Intellectually, scientifically, there is no debate. He is right. The contraction and convergence model is the only model that will move us to that position. The debate is, how on earth do you get the politicians, their constituents, to a point where they see that? And May, you argue brilliantly and passionately, and you could get a room, and 10 or 20% of the room would completely agree with you, and 80% would just want to throw things at you and shout at you. And politicians will listen to the majority in the room because they haven't necessarily got that leadership that is actually needed to take us out of this crisis. So
that's why we're in the powerless position we're in. So what do we do about it? Let's accept it as
no, that's
none of us are doing that.
Do our bit.
The debate is, how do you get the 80% into a majority? And there are very, very many ways of doing that. And what I said earlier was that the thing I think that we must do is somehow politicise the fact that there are many people, for a variety of reasons, willing to do their bit. And I think we've got to encourage that, because otherwise you just want to give up and go, I don't know, go where? Go somewhere high. We've got to somehow take those people who are willing to do those things and then get them to start to put the political pressure on, be it for personal carbon trading, be it, the fact that clearly taking 2% off VAT was crazy when, they could have put in a feed-in tariff, they could have put the investment in a super grid, which would lead us towards, a zero carbon electricity thing. The solutions are out there. It's just the political leadership isn't, and actually the political leadership isn't because the majority of the constituents still haven't got it. And that, I think, that's why I sound a bit wussy about the whole stuff. I'm trying to help edge people along this, but I realise there's got to be a political harsh point at somewhere.
Time's running out.
Yeah, time is running out, exactly.